No. See if I can. All right. Yeah. So I don't know what happened. Um, but the power went out for like 3 or 4 minutes, and yeah, we lost power, which killed the live stream. So, oh my god. Uh, well, I mean, the live stream was running away, so yeah. I didn't get to finish it, and I'm not gonna go and just like kind of go back into OBS and all the other stuff. So I figured I would just go live from my mobile device, and yeah, just finish up talking. So waiting for people to just kind of know that I'm live again. So sorry, I am very sorry. Uh, let's see what happens. See what happens. Hey, who's ever in here? If you guys want to know, basically, it was a power outage. So the power was knocked out for a little bit. So I apologize for that. So sorry. Absolutely sorry. Uh, but yeah, anyways, what was it? I was in the middle of storytelling too. I was telling you guys. Oh yeah, the whole trip thing. So the whole trip thing really was just to allow my sister to see my dad, spend some time with my dad, so she didn't have or wouldn't have to have the same thing or the same, um, regret that she had when my mom passed. That's the reason that we did this vacation with my sister. So only my sister and my youngest niece was able to come on this trip. Everybody else in the family wasn't able to. So we are planning like another family reunion thing, you know, with everybody eventually is what we intend to do. Um, so that's the plan down the road. But of course, like I said, my dad firmly believed that guy, and when that guy said, "Hey, yeah, you're gonna pass at 75," my dad believes that. So I mean, that's just yeah, yes, that's just the thing about all of it. Let me check real quick, make sure that the live stream is doing okay. I don't know because you know I was pretty decent. So if anyone wants to know, it's actually pretty decent, the live stream. So if you guys want to know if Verizon works good in where I'm at, it actually does. Okay, so I'm actually looking at the live stream. The live stream looks pretty good. uh, yeah. So, anyways, let's see. I'm married. I'm married. I appreciate it. Thank you, but I'm married. I have a wife. I have family. So, but there's always someone out there for somebody. So one day you'll find somebody that's for you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, so that's why we did the whole like vacation thing. That's why, I went to go see my dad again, and I'm going back to see him again for New Year's. So I'm taking my kids out there for New Year's. That's what they want for Christmas. One of their Christmas gifts is to go back to their grandfather's. So, got the Airbnb already reserved ahead of time, so I don't have to like scramble looking for, a place to stay at. And then yeah, I'll be back out that way and just kind of hanging out with family and whatnot. Um, my daughter, she takes Spanish in high school and everything, so she's got my uncle, her grand uncle, who's going to be helping her out uh, with her Spanish and whatnot. So I got to get her up to because she missed the statewide test. So they had state testing this past week. She missed it, so she can make it up, but I have to get her online on her Google Classroom so she can do it. So when she wakes up, I'll have her go to a different spot in the house where she won't be bothered by her other siblings and she can do her test. That was like totally random, but the power just like killed off like that. That was crazy. I was like in the middle of live stream or podcasting and everything like that, and boom, the power just went out. So it took like a couple of minutes and then the power kicked back on. So yeah, I apologize how the podcast just ended so abruptly and everything. The can't control when the power goes out. And I really wonder if it had to do because I heard a weird, almost sound like an accident. So I don't know. Maybe someone hit like a power pole nearby and it kind of knocked out the power for a little bit before they rerouted it on the grid. I have no idea. But anyways, I'm slowly trying to get back into the rhythm of what I do here. Posting tech videos and stuff like that. And so I tried. It's funny because on the Shorts channel, I clicked to go live from my mobile device, and it actually was gonna let me, which was weird because I know there's requirements in order for you to stream from your mobile device. You can stream from your computer at any given time, but from your device. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's just I was podcasting not long ago and the power went out, and I felt bad because it was just like, what happened? Everything just killed off, and the live stream. That's funny about YouTube. So when you use something like OBS and you're live, when if you have like a power outage and it kills off your computer, the live stream will still go. I literally had to go into YouTube Studios and um, to the live stream section, and I seen that it was still showing that it was live, and I had to go in there and end the live stream. So the live stream's processing, so I'll look back at it later. Maybe I'll edit it. Maybe I'll just leave it the way that it is. But like, I decided to go live from my phone right now, just to finish up. Usually, when I live stream for about an hour. I think I kind of reached that mark, but yeah, yeah. So I'm good. Everything's good. Everything's fine. I guess actually what I'll do right now while I got you guys on the mobile live, I guess I can upload that Pixel Watch 3 unboxing video and get all the parameters set before I set it to go available for everybody to watch. No. I don't really have like a title for this. I don't. So, um, yeah, I'm just basically just hanging out, chilling for however long I feel like staying live. I don't know. Maybe it'll end soon. Maybe it won't end soon. Who knows? But let me go ahead and select file. Yeah. I am using Visible, so that's the service that's on my Pixel 9a. I'm using Visible to live stream. So if you guys want to know like what service I'm using, I'm not connected to any Wi-Fi. Just the service plan runs out in 2 days. I'm not going to renew it, so I just figured I would just like use the rest of the data that because it's unlimited. So I was going to use the rest of it and just burn it out. If I was to keep Visible, would I stay on their Visible Plus plan? The answer to that question is no. I would drop back. I would drop down to the $25 base plan when it comes to Visible. I don't really see a reason. I mean, like, yeah, faster data speeds, of course, connecting to ultra wideband access and all that other good stuff or whatever. I'm not a speed tester, like my friends are. I don't do a lot of 5G speed testing, so there's no reason for me to have it. And the $25 visible base plan, it's fully unlimited, and it's got fully unlimited hotspot too as well. So it's like, why not? Honestly, I feel like that Visible has like one of the best plans out there, prepaid for fully unlimited services. I was like, people will be like, Metro has pretty good, and like, yeah, they do for like T-Mobile network access. But um, the problem with that is that you got fully unlimited data service with Metro by T-Mobile. You only have a limited amount of hotspot. And if you're on the $25 plan that Metro has, I believe it's a very small amount of hotspot they give, or no hotspot at all. And so, like with Visible, you get unlimited data, but you also get unlimited hotspot data. So you can use it as a hotspot for like your laptop, tablet, whatever, secondary phone if you keep two phones on you. And yeah, you can use it for hotspotting. And it's not meant to replace home Wi-Fi. I would not recommend that to anybody out there. If you really want some really good data network access for your home IoTs, then you can get either fiber. Fiber is really good and fast. If you can't afford fiber, that's okay. There's a lot of fixed wireless accesses that you can get, like Verizon Home Internet, T-Mobile Home Internet, AT&T. I got two of them. I got T-Mobile Home Internet, and then I got AT&T Air is what it's called. AT&T Air Internet. I have that. So, yeah. Let me see. Oh wow! On the mobile app, you can do polls now directly. That's cool. Uh, Let me ask this question then. So is visible base plan good enough? Of course, typing it on a screen is not as fast as typing it on a keyboard. So I'll just keep that question short and sweet. And we'll hit done. Start poll. There we go. Yeah, you can start a poll now. Does this ever get out of the way? Oh yeah, you can. You can move it up there. Well, hey, wait a minute. It's not letting me move it. What the hell? Oh, what is this about? So I was podcasting earlier, and the power cut out, so I just went live on my mobile device just to hang out. So it's not really a focus thing, but I did ask that question. Um, is visible base plan good enough? One person voted. They said no. I don't want to like throw the. Do you guys see the poll kind of blocking me? Let me know, because I don't know how like that works on mobile devices. I run the poll when I'm on OBS, and so it's so much easier. But like live streaming on a mobile device is like, yeah, it's a little bit different for me. Usually when I do this, I'm just like showing you guys where I'm at, what I'm doing, that type of thing. That makes sense. Um, yeah. Anyways, what was I looking for? Oh, yeah, and then just catching up with those who normally chat with me and on live stream. Just catching up with everybody now that I got back from vacation. And also wanted to know how everyone else's Halloween was like. So people had like good Halloween parties, or people dressed up for Halloween just to dress up and have fun, have laughs or whatever. I mean, let me know how'd that work out for you and everything. Because this year, sadly, we didn't go trick-or-treating. There was just so much going on. So we just really didn't really have the time. Because we traveled. We actually left Halloween night to head to my dad's. So we drove through all. It was like 14 and a half hours of the drive. Um, yeah, so that was a pretty lengthy drive and everything. And yeah, then we spent the next couple of days, with my dad, and we went to medieval times. That was pretty badass. If you've never been to medieval times, it's fun. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it's fun. So Definitely go check it out if you have one in your area, because it was a lot of fun. Although, I always naturally assumed it's a 50-50 on that vote. Anyways, I always naturally assumed that it was more like a restaurant, so I was thinking like there was gonna be like a menu. And there is a menu um for medieval times, but it's only one type menu, right? So it's like, you get your appetizer, which is tomato basil soup. They call it dragon's blood. You get a piece of garlic bread to go with that, and then the main course they serve is a roasted quarter chicken that's seasoned pretty good. You get that with corn on the cob and a half baked potato. So because there's no utensils, that's the type of menu they're gonna serve. Is because yeah, you don't have knife and fork to eat. You have to eat with your hands. So um, I brought hand sanitizer. Me and my kids, we sanitize our hands because we're gonna do it with food, and then we wash our hands afterwards because we were enjoying the show, and it was really fun. It was really cool. My kids enjoyed it. So I'd definitely say like, yeah, why not? Okay, I think I got my thumbnail photo for this video, so just put that in there. And see if usually it's funny too, 'cause when I post videos on YouTube, like the ones I do mostly good is like the Google Pixel videos. But if I do like a Pixel Watch video, those really don't do so good. So I'm gonna see if I have any luck with this video and if it does any better. Okay, so half of people think that it's good enough, half of people think that it's not good enough. Okay, well, do it with that poll. Um, I like this tripod. I got my little light right here if it was darker, but it's not. It's not that dark. And if you guys want to know what's like, the little color shifting thing, here, I'll turn the camera on so you guys can see it. But yeah, there's the light is blinking. I need my remote here so I can just set it to like a fade type mode. There it goes. Now it's going to fade in between colors. And that right there is a custom can from the Coca-Cola company over in Las Vegas. When I went to Vegas with my wife, we had a custom can of Coke made. So if you're just joining in on the stream, you want to know what we're talking about, we're just really just kicking back and just chilling. I'm setting a video to upload on YouTube for unboxing the Pixel Watch 3. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So if you guys know any good tags that I should throw in on the video for the Pixel Watch 3, feel free to comment them. Post it in the chat. What up, B-Tech? What's going on? So I was podcasting earlier, and the power cut out. So like the power just snapped and went off. So the podcast just ended so abruptly. So I popped back on, and I just decided to do it from a mobile phone and just have like a chill. Yeah, so there is one. It was just really getting getting everyone's opinions about if you can trust YouTube content creators for like the tech reviews and stuff. And then I just want to get people's feedback on that, on how they felt, because I really didn't have like a subject to really kind of dive into today, since I just got back from vacation. Of course, been catching up on my sleep, and so I was just like, I'll just do like a little question, let everybody else kind of answer things, and then I was in the middle of telling the story why I went to Oklahoma, like why my sister flew from Hawaii to here to meet up with me, and then we drove all the way to Oklahoma to see my dad. I was like explaining that, and then the power just went boom, killed out. And I was like, crap. So when everything, it was like the power was off for like 4 minutes, and then when it kicked back on and I started turning everything back on, I just went into YouTube Studios and just ended because the live stream was running away. So it was still showing live on viewers' ends, but OBS was down, everything was turned off. So I just ended the live stream and just came on mobile, and like I didn't type a title, so it just says that I'm live because I really don't have like a specific focused topic to discuss. So I'm just really hanging out with everybody. I am uploading a video about unboxing the Pixel Watch 3, which I have on my wrist. Um, I told in the live stream how I got it, but yeah. Anyways, so when of course I mentioned it in the video too. So when the video drops later on, yeah, it's like add a Q&A sticker. Try it. Let's see. I love that you can do these things now in the mobile version. So it is AMA time. I'll just do that and that and done. Now let's put that up there. There. Ask me anything. So how's your weekend been? Because there's been like a lot of things going on. I do want to catch up with you on the Deathlock podcast later on this week. Not today though, because I still have a couple things I gotta take care of in a little while. But man, has it been really interesting of what's going on, including the little tease of Logan Paul going face for a moment until he clocks CM Punk with the brass knuckles. And I guess what? They're gonna make him number one contender for the world heavyweight championship. Like that's gonna be so stupid. Mm. Oh, the John Cena tournament. Oh, okay. That'll be interesting. Yeah, kind of sad though, because like a few people were in the podcast watching, and then now that I'm back live, I guess they all vanished. I don't see Titus in here or Nia and Dang or the usuals. So I don't know. Maybe if they just didn't get notified that I was live again, because everyone went to work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Everyone went to work. People got lives, right? I know YouTube is bad with notifications. So weird. So weird. But yeah, this is a 41 millimeter, not the 45 millimeter, because I have a lot of watch band accessories for the smaller version, and like I don't have like really big wrists, so the 41 looks pretty decent on me. I don't need like a giant flat screen TV as a watch on my wrist. But yeah, you just logged on and saw that I was live. Yeah, I don't know what it is with YouTube and their notifications suck really bad. There we go. So I'll do that. Record date was actually yesterday. I recorded a lot of tech videos yesterday and then just was like uploading them one by one. Have I picked up a skateboard yet? No, not yet. Have not. But I will. I haven't even gone to a skate shop here. I know one of the ones that like I don't know some kid was talking about this brand called Cowtown. Never heard of it, but he was like, "Yeah, go check out their decks and everything." Oh, okay, cool. You sold your scooter. Why did you sell it? Why'd you sell your scooter, man? And was it the one that you just recently unboxed and tested out? Okay, got the end screen stuff on and that. I'll keep it private for now. Set it to premiere this afternoon. Probably 3 o'clock this afternoon that video will premiere. Hard times? Pretty much like no times. Like I don't have a lot of time. Around this time of the year is like the busiest, right? You get the holidays. My kids got a lot of their school function programs. Like, my daughter, she needs to get back to school Monday, because she needs to practice with, because one of her elective classes is dance, and they're putting on a concert, I think on the 21st. So she needs to rehearse. So then that way she's good to go. And of course, like a lot of other stuff's going on. And then Thanksgiving. So I've got to do a lot of Thanksgiving shopping and whatnot. This year, I'm having a small Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not inviting extended family. It's just me, my wife, and the kids. This year, I've been a lot more introverted. Um, so I haven't been really connecting with family all too much. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, that video's up. The Pixel 10 is a shock hit. That one is currently available. 6 likes on it so far. Cool. Thank you guys for 6 likes. Appreciate that. Every little bit helps. It's like a reminder. Reminder to move. 208 steps left. Yes. I also got to work on the Armada. So there's some maintenance and stuff I got to do to it. When I was out of town, someone took the air out of the front left tire. There's just people that's just straight jackasses. They touch people's stuff, and I know that because the air cap for my tire is missing. I had custom ones put on my Armada. Like I found these really cool ones, and so I put them on to just to add a little thing to it. Anyways, one's missing, and it's the one tire that deflated. They deflated it down. I don't know why. People are just stupid as hell. But yeah, so I figured I'd turn this into an open discussion. So ask me anything. Anything you want to know. If it's within bounds that I can share, I'll tell you. Oh, nice. That's good that you're gonna help your mom out, right? Changing a tire these days, it's a pain in the ass. It really is. I mean, because I have a 2007 Nissan Armada, it's a pretty big SUV. Um, I got one of those hydraulic jacks, so it makes it easier to jack the car up. Of course, I keep a couple of jack stands because I've seen some crazy videos where people were changing tires and they were relying on the hydraulic jack and they didn't have the switch all the way over. So the jack was losing some of the hydraulic fluid and it was coming down, then it just gave out and boom, it went down and crushed the guy's leg because he had his leg underneath for some reason. It's like, yeah. So I have jack stands that I put there to catch the weight of the vehicle. But yeah, so I have an air compressor. I'm charging it up. So I haven't charged it in a while. And once that's fully charged up, I'm gonna go out there and air up that tire, uh, inspect it a little bit, probably take it into a shop today and just have the both front tires replaced. And then next week do the back two tires, have those replaced, and yeah, just have a set of 4 new tires on the car. We need a tire automotive channel. I'm no backyard mechanic. I know a little bit just because my dad. So my dad, what he did in the Air Force was he was an electrician and a hydraulics maintenance for the C-5, which is a car with they're the biggest cargo airplane in a military installation. But my dad has like a lot of knowledge, so he has knowledge on the C-5s, the C-17s, the KC-130s, the C-141. So he's got a lot of knowledge on those, and he also has some knowledge on automotive. And so he taught me what he knew. That way, things like, changing spark plugs and, replacing an air filter, replacing the O2 sensors, declogging catalytic converter, like those types of things that I'd be able to do on my own and not have to take it into a shop and pay like huge amounts in labor fees, plus parts, right? Because, labor here where I live in this city, most average mechanic shops, labor is like anywhere between 80 to $100 an hour. And then, of course, you pay for the parts that they're replacing. So if I can do the job myself, I'll do the job myself. If it's something that I can't do, like if it's like, say, it has a blown head gasket and I want to replace that, yeah, I don't have a cherry picker, so I can't lift the motor out. Otherwise, I would. Like the last time that like I was really heavy into working on cars was like, back in like the early 2000s, right? Fast and the Furious hit the theaters. Everyone became a car enthusiast. The car that I had was the 1994 Toyota Tercel. And I was doing some stuff to that. Like I did so the 94 Tercel had a single overhead motor, right? It was a 3E. And so there was a Toyota Paseo that had that its motor can fit in the Tercel. So it was a five EFTE motor the Paseo has. So I did a motor swap, put that into the Tercel, and then we're just really building it out. And it was a sleeper too. Ugliest car you would have seen, like the outside of it. I didn't like the original color, so I took the red off, and then I primed the vehicle and was waiting to paint. Then I just decided just to leave it primed and never painted it. It looked ugly as hell. So when I used to go racing out in like McKinney, Texas, which is like on the outskirts of Dallas and everything like that, like yeah, people would be like, "Yo, you got beat by an ugly Toyota." That ugly Toyota was mine. Um, I did all kinds of crazy stuff to that car. Um, Originally, it had a short ram intake, and then I decided to rip that apart on the intake manifold and build, a dual intake, dual cold air intake. Ended up doing that. Um, then I was like playing around with it. I took a stock turbo off what was it? A Mitsubishi 3000 GT. I took the stock turbo off of that and put it on my Tercel. Like I did all kinds of dumb shit back in the day. Just Frankenstein motor and everything. Oh, it was a lot of fun, but maybe back then I probably would have had like a YouTube channel about cars and stuff like that. Um, right now, like I'm not really doing anything. Like I have a 2015 Kia Soul and I have a 2007 Nissan Armada. And I know next year I'm buying another car. I'll be doing that, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I have. Oh, so like I have a guy that has done some work for me, and he comes over, he does the work, and he charges a pretty fair price. I found him because the starter was failing on the Armada, and where Nissan put the starter was a pain in the ass. You had to lift the head, so you had to take the head of the motor off. It was in between that and the block. That's where the starter was sitting at. So I had to take all that off. The intake manifold had to come off, and that's what it was. It was under the intake manifold, and I had to take that off to get to the starter and replace it. Um, so yeah, I found him from that, and from then on, like he charged a fair, reasonable price. I watched him work. He turned out to be very honest. So from that point, I just used him to do repairs. He used to have a 2005 Toyota Corolla XRS with a 2ZZ turbo front wheel. It was a lot of fun, but the wife, oh man, yeah, my ex-wife was kind of like that. She was not happy too much that I was like paying attention a lot to my car. Because it wasn't only my car that I worked on. Like she had a 2002. So I kind of get mad when I think about it because they're not really easy to find. So like Dodge Neons, yeah, they were pretty common back then, but it depended on what type it was. So mine's wasn't an SRT, but mine's was an ACR. So it was a 2004 Dodge Neon ACR. And you knew it was an ACR model because uh, bone stock it had dual exhaust, right? The SRT and the regular base Neons, they had a just like a single exhaust line, right, from the catalytic converter all the way to the muffler. The ACRs had dual split, so you would have two mufflers on the left and right, and they would run down the chassis, and then they would meet where the catalytic converter was. Um, Very hard to find that car, and like I worked on that car like a mug, man. Um, the body kit, like right before she sold it without me knowing that she sold it, I had ordered a Kaminari full kit, right? So, front, back, and side skirts and everything, had put that on. I had taken off the brake-like housing and got some paint and painted on it to kind of create this Pac-Man effect because the neon taillights kind of look like a Pac-Man. So I did that to have that, shaped up and everything. Matte black the entire car. That car was fun to drive. Out in like East Texas area, I used to drive the back road highways going like damn near almost 150 miles an hour, which is, I don't know. People think 150 is not that fast, but you know what? Things start to look a blur when you get over 100 miles an hour. And a friend of mine, he had night vision goggles. He got the idea from a movie. I don't know what movie it was, but he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I watched this movie, and this guy drove from LA to Vegas, and he had night goggles on, and his car was blacked out, so highway patrol couldn't see him that well. And so he bought that, and so we were testing the theory out. We went driving out in the back roads and was just like racing that neon, and yeah, it works. You can use night goggles if you want to have all your lights off, so you can't really be spotted. But you'll still get tagged by laser though, so that's something you won't avoid. Whether or not Highway Patrol is able to pick up that there is a blacked out vehicle that sped on by is up to the Highway Patrolman if they can see you. But you know, yeah, it hurt pretty bad just because not only the investments I put into that car, but also the fact that it wasn't something that you would find a lot. Like you can go to like a used dealership, you can go to like a new dealership, and it wasn't something that you would find. It's not a common version of the Dodge Neon, so that pissed me off. Um, the Tercel, man, I drove that car to its death. By the time that I was going through basically a divorce, and I was leaving Texas. I was going to New Mexico where my mother lived at with her boyfriend, and I was driving. My best friend was with me, and no, so we were driving. We were gonna just me and he's my Hanai brother, Ruben. Ruben and I have been through a lot of things, and so he left Texas because he was living there too, and he left and he was gonna go with me to New Mexico and just kind of start over on a lot of things. And so we were driving out that way, and the car was just having problems. So in Dallas, I parked the car. My dad came down with a flatbed and picked it up, and I took a Greyhound the rest of the way to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And my dad took it to his house. He was kind of working on it, and then it was just like he told me, he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Did you know that two of your cylinders are dead? Like they froze up." And so I was driving that car with just only two good working cylinders. The other two were killed off and dead. So, um, yeah, you don't got to do a whole lot of that, you know, whole that hello stuff. So, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, nah, I don't tell people to calm down. I already know when they're doing stuff like that. You're from India? Nice. What part? Because I've never been to India. I'm from Arizona. Let me make sure. Yeah, India. I don't want to. I was like, I had to double check. I was like, wait, Indiana or India? I've never been to Indiana. Come on, buddy. What? Um, but yeah, those are the two cars that I've worked on my life. Now I have kids, so I don't really like work on my cars for like performance and speed and racing and any of that type of stuff. Um, if I really want to get my racing fix, I'll just watch Initial D or MF Ghost. I watch one of those two. I like MF Ghost and the concept of that too. That'd be pretty cool, right? If you ran like a racing circuit across, different countries, and in order for people to catch the view of your race, you had to have a drone following you. Like that's pretty damn cool. It is, but it's so sad though. I think when I first started watching MF Ghost, I think the thing that like really shocked me was the fact when they made mention of what happened to Takumi, when they said that he had left Japan to Europe for rally racing, and his car took a plunge in a ravine, and so from that point he stopped racing and he opened up a school for teaching people how to race. And I was like, damn, like they did him like that? Because I watched stage 5 of Initial D, right? The very last episode, which is like kind of like a mirror match. It's like, facing your old self, right? So the young kid that he raced up against was pretty much him from high school. And, obviously he's like advanced from like all the time that he had spent, with the Akina Speed Stars and what he's learned from Ikitani, and then going from there, joining up with Project D and learning from Ryosuke, and just all his advancements. And then, he has that one final race. He wins, even though he blew the motor. He swung the car back and just pushed in the clutch to let the speed carry the 8.6 across the finish line. And that was the end of stage 5. And then you watch MF Ghost and you find out that, this young kid was trained by Takumi on how to race. And he drives the GR86, and then you find out that that Takumi was in an accident in Europe. So it's like it almost kind of kills Takumi's legacy, right? Like he was so great in Japan, he was so great on the downhill in Japan, but going to another country and he just completely was like average to nothing. So it kind of sucked to hear that in MF Ghost, but the show's pretty good, and I love the fact that the entire MF Ghost track obviously created by Ryosuke, who's now a doctor, and then the person who has the best time on the course is his brother Kesuke. Yeah, they always do, but it makes me wonder because I mean, I haven't watched MF Ghost in a while, so I don't know where they are technically timeline wise, or if they're continuing any on like seasons of it or whatever. But I wonder if they're ever gonna like bring him back with the 8.6 like back, because I don't think when he left to Europe, I don't think he took the 8.6 with him. So because like I was like on a message board with a bunch of Initial D fans, and they were all talking about it, and they were like, that oh maybe he wrecked because he wasn't used to the car. And I was like, well, no, because like in the early stages of Initial D, they showed how he can easily adapt to a car. Because remember he took the S13, and after like one corner on Akina, then he kind of got a feel for the S13 and how different it was from the 8.6, and then he just opened it up full throttle and went down. And yeah, so he's able to adapt to different cars quickly. Um, People made mention that it was a rally, so it's like a mixture of like, astroturf and gravel and dirt and mud. And like I can see that being, a factor of why. But then again, too, when you watch Initial D, you learn that Takumi is able to adapt to different terrain easily. So like, the fact that he wrecked, I don't know why they wrote that in for the story. I mean, they could have wrote anything else. They could have like, somebody tampered with the brake system before his race and sabotaged him. You know what I mean? They could have done something like that. It's almost like they killed the Initial D legacy. Yeah, that's something that I feel is crazy. The fact that in Initial D that the GR86 is like going up against Porsches, like the cars that's running in on the circuit, those aren't like your everyday tuners. Those aren't, your imports. Those are exotics. Those are high powered exotics. And like, yeah, I agree with you. The GR86 is not a high powered exotic car. It's just a rebooted modern version of the 86 Corolla. Just like how, the what the hell is that car? Um, Kind of like how they refreshed bringing out the RX-8 after the RX-7. It was like so many years before they released the RX-8, and the RX-8, nice car, but compared to the FD or an FC, kind of a little underwhelming. Even though it's a rotary engine, that's one thing that I do love about the RX-8. It still maintains the rotary design for the motor. They could have went inline, they could have went V. Um, I like inline better. I don't, probably the cliche thing, but I truly generally do. Like I've always told my kids, if I hit the lottery, like I think the lottery here is like at 400 million. If I was actually to win that, besides, it's like I've told people, money doesn't go with you in death. So no, I wouldn't keep all that money to myself. I would take some of that money, give it to my family members to get them out of whatever debt they're in, pull them out so they can live comfortable. I would open up businesses with my family so we can continue generational wealth by owning different businesses. And then I would find, if I won the 400 million jackpot, I would find 100 families that were homeless and buy them each a home, like buy them a house for them to move them and their families into, give them a bit of spending cash to get on their feet so they can buy groceries, buy clothes, buy furniture, buy themselves a car, get on their feet, like with no strings attached. They don't have to tell the world that I did that or nothing. Just get off the streets with your kids because that always breaks my heart. We have a lot of homeless people in Phoenix, and I see homeless families, like trucks parked, at a public park in the parking lot. Parents and kids sleeping inside, or sleeping on the back of the truck, which is dangerous. So but yeah, one of the things I would buy myself as a treat for just having all that money, would buy me an R34 GTR Skyline because I do like the RB26 DETT, so twin turbo. I do like the inline six motor that the Skyline has, so prefer those to work on. But anyways, yeah, I think like what Toyota revived the Supra, so that's another thing too. They revived the Supra. I like how KSK has the record on some of those course trots. Yeah, yeah, the GR86 is a Corolla, dude. That car is just weird. That car is just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But you know what? I mean, it had to be a modern car, and of course, reference to Takame, it had to be, Corolla. The Trueno, obviously, right? There's two versions of the 86, right? So there's the Trueno, which has the pop-up lights, and then there's the 11, which has the regular lights, no pop-up lights. By the way, how was your Halloween? And those that are watching, how was your guys' Halloween? Let me change that question. I wanna ask. Let's see. How was your Halloween? That's funny for like the whole pre thing. It was like, how was your haircut? Like, are you serious? The whole prediction thing is just funny. All right, I'll put it up there. Well, I guess up there, that's about the best it can do. Yeah. How was your Halloween? What'd you do for Halloween? I worked and then went to a family party. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I felt so bad because my kids didn't trick or treat this year. Like I said, we were driving throughout the night from here to where my dad lives. We were driving throughout the night. 14 and a half hours. We did stop off at Buc-ee's though again. I love that place for its barbecue and pulled pork and all that good stuff. It was delicious. It was great. It's in the vlog. If you guys haven't watched the vlog, go catch the vlog. Where I'm 1,000 miles to medieval times. Pixel 10 vlogged it all. Because it's like 843 miles from where I live to where my dad lives. And then, yeah, probably another, about another 200 miles to Dallas from where my dad lives. Because it's like a 3-hour drive to Dallas from where my dad lives at. So yeah, drove over 1,000 miles just to go to medieval times. My kids loved it though. My kids loved it. They want to go back. The guys there are so freaking like they're really into it. Like if you thought Renaissance fairs was crazy, medieval times is pretty crazy. Like we saw the menu, what we were gonna eat, and it says tomato basil soup. But they were so into it. The guy was the squire was coming up serving food, and he's all like, He's like, dragon's blood, everybody. He's like, he even has the English accent going on. I'm like, oh shit, we're having dragon's blood. Then my youngest son, he's like all in shock. And then the guy noticed it. He goes, hey, he's a little bit scared. Like, why are you scared? And my son didn't say nothing to him, but he was just like, then the guy walks away, and my son's like, is this sanitary? And I go, it's tomato soup. It's tomato soup. They call it dragon's blood, but it's tomato soup. That was funny as hell. I had a lot of fun. I had good times, a lot of fun. So, yeah, very interesting. Those that also watch the replay, question goes out to you. That is, how was your Halloween? So if you watch it, hashtag replay crew, and then tell me how your Halloween was. For Thanksgiving this year, I'm not doing anything grand, just the family. Um, no, obviously a turkey, obviously ham, because I love ham. I don't know about you guys, but I love ham. I love cranberry sauce. I love sweet potato mash. So my wife makes a really good potato salad. So that's pretty much what we're having, you know. And maybe some other stuff, whatever she decides to throw in there as a side or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. Small home family Thanksgiving dinner, and then probably watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One of my favorite movies to watch around this time of the year. It is so crazy how we're already in the 2025 holidays. 2026 is right around the corner, and I'm just like, oh my god, 2026 is right around the corner, which means that we start off again, you know, with like New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter, and then halfway through the year, it's my son's birthday. He'll be turning 11. My youngest daughter will be turning 14. Um, my oldest daughter will be turning 16. My second oldest son will be turning 21 that year, and my eldest son will be 22. So that's a whole lot to freaking deal with, and I'll be turning 44. Like, that's just man. 43 going on 44. I'll be halfway through my 40s kind of by then. Time is going by fast. No? Do you guys agree with me on that? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys agree that time is going fast or what? Like, you know, are we spinning around the sun a lot faster? Because, man, it was like, it wasn't that long ago that it was the beginning of 2025, and now we're already at the end of it, you know? Um, I'll be honest with a lot of you guys, turning 44 is not exciting for me. It's, again, getting older. It's, again, losing more family. And I think that's the thing that pisses me off about being at the age that I'm at, is that you begin to lose family. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to my Uncle Ray. I got to see my Uncle Ray, and, like I'm glad that, his heart surgery went well, but I'm also a little hurt too because, he has a machine that pumps his blood. So it's not a pacemaker. It doesn't make his heart beat. His heart doesn't beat anymore. He has a machine as a heart, and it pumps the blood through his body for him. And, I worry about that, because, yeah, it's like, I get it. Old age, probably around that age, I might feel the same way if that's how they feel, I'm assuming. If they feel like that, they lived enough, so they're okay with going. I don't know if I will be okay with going in life because they are scared of death. I think a lot of people are, even though they don't admit it, they are. Because it's the unknown. You don't know what happens. You don't know if there's anything beyond this, or if, if like, all the memories that you have is just completely lights out. Like, no one knows. Because no one's ever come back from death and say, hey, this is what I experienced, right? People have, kind of passed and come back. They were resuscitated, and one of the things they say is like, yeah, you see the light. Your everything that you went through flashes before your eyes, and like all kinds of stuff. But you really don't know. Like, you don't know for sure. So, Um, yeah, that's the only thing that like kind of sucks. Is that getting older and losing people sucks. Nice drip. What drip? What are you talking about? Thanks for the 3 likes so far. I know I have a lot of catching up to. That's always another downside to being, content creator on YouTube. If you take so much time off from creating content, coming back is like a slow drag. So, uh, mm, I can't type for crap today. Anyways, yeah. I wasn't going live on TikTok gaming. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. You've been playing. You've been playing on TikTok. I watched. I think I caught one of your lives where you were gaming. Didn't stay long because I was with family, but I popped in to see what you were up to, and then RNA. I was watching her karaoke the other night. Um, so that was kind of cool. You made another channel? Yeah, short and punchy. Um, hmm. Why did I do that? I said 3, not E. Yeah, I noticed that. She's been going live every day. The other day she was like doing some arts. I love that setup on TikTok Live that she does. So like it has like a window up here that shows something, a window here that shows something, and then the window here that shows her, and then it has a background. YouTube should let us do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Like, and from the mobile app itself, like not using OBS or any other third party thing, but just directly from YouTube. Like there's a lot that YouTube could do to make the experience better that they allow third-party people to kind of do and connect with YouTube to do that. Um, like I mean, I think I honestly don't even know how long I'm going to be doing all these tech videos. Like I really don't. Not trying to like scare people away or anything like that, but it is the absolute truth. Like I've been doing this since 2011, 2010, and there's only so long you can do this until like people just give up on watching you. Like they find like a new creator that they resonate with because people's perceptions and thoughts change over time. I know this. And so it's like, how long can I do this before it's time to just, say goodbye to it, Because yes, I definitely don't want to be 50 years old and still, making tech videos like that. Um, I think, my channel is going to go through a big shift in the next couple of years. I think I'm going to start primarily focusing on AI and its advancements over modern hardware. Because hardware is like pretty much all the same. There's not really much difference to any of these things, really, other than like some small features that it has. And that primarily also has to do with AI. So that's the thing that, I feel like that's eventually going to be the norms is AI. let's do it. I am using Gemini right now for something, so if you guys want to know why am I typing so much stuff, I'm actually using AI right now. Um, I'm having it help me with my work, and yeah, yeah, like themes. That would be nice, right? That would be so cool to have themes. Ah, really? How cold was it in Colorado? Because I know right now it's getting cold again. Like when I first arrived to Oklahoma, it was kind of cool. Wasn't too bad, but it warmed up a little bit. Now it's I guess it's warming up again. No, it's cooling down. Sorry, not warming up. It's cooling down again. I'm putting all these details in. By the way, if you guys want to use Google Fi or whatever, you guys watch any of my other videos and stuff like that, there is a code that you guys can use when signing up, and that will give you guys so much off your first bill. So take that out of this because no, wrong one. Mm-hmm. Nope, not the 45. I have the 41 millimeter version. Add a little bit of flavor to this description, and then yeah, I think we're good there. I think we're good there, honestly. Oh, whoa, wow. Sun goes down and heads towards single digits, man. That is cold. I'll say I would trade weathers with you, Anthony, any day of the week. Because it gets so hot here in Phoenix, I would trade. I would prefer the cold. And the reason why, I always tell people this. When it comes to really cold weather, you can put on as much layers as you want to stay warm. But when you live in a really hot city, you can't take off a lot of layers before it becomes illegal to be in public. So that's the difference why I would rather be in cold weather than anywhere else. Um, okay, let's see. Where is. There we go. So I'm going to do that. Schedule it for today. Not tomorrow, but for today. And let's do 1:30 p.m. today for that one. For that premiere. And I'll set up that premiere, go with my usual sci-fi opening, and save. Oh. And save. And now on the channel, you guys should see that there is a Pixel Watch 3 video about to go 1:30 p.m. my time. So right now it's 10:30 a.m. So wherever you're at, just do the time conversion because daylight savings I think happened on Sunday. It was kind of funny. My son was freaking out when we were driving because we got to a certain point and then we were in New Mexico, so they observed daylight savings, so they went an hour back. So it was 9:59 p.m. and he was looking on his phone, and then he was expecting it to go to 10. He was watching spend his phone. He looked at the time; it was almost 10 o'clock. And then when it changed from 9:59 p.m., it changed to 9 p.m. And he's looking at it like, what? And I'd explain to him like New Mexico observes because like Arizona doesn't observe daylight savings, so we don't change our time. New Mexico does, California does, Hawaii doesn't. So Hawaii is another state that doesn't observe daylight savings. So I was telling him that New Mexico went an hour back. So now New Mexico and Arizona has the same time. California is an hour behind. Oklahoma is 1 hour ahead. So now BTEC is an hour ahead of me instead of 2 hours ahead of me. So yeah. But yeah, 1:30 p.m. my time here in Phoenix. That video is gonna go live. Um, the wind chill makes it about 10% colder. Coffee, what's up, man? Hey, how's it going, bro? Um, yeah. Let's see. I would choose cold weather over hot weather any day. Any day of the week. I really need to get a new chair. Do you guys hear this? You can hear it squeaking and everything. I need a new chair with a better backrest and everything. No, but even though Halloween is over, I'm still listening to the Scary Stories podcast. I just don't like the new narrator for that podcast. If you guys didn't know, that's probably one of my favorite things to do is actually listen to like audio podcast and audio books. Um, yeah, YouTube notifications does suck. I'm only live mobily because I was doing a regular podcast earlier, and then the power cut off here, and so instead of waiting for everything to boot back on, I just jumped on a live on my Pixel 9a and just decided to go live from mobile app. So yeah, because the other live stream was Runaway. The power cut off for me, but it didn't end the live stream. So the live stream was still going on. So I had to get in there and like manually end it. Um, but yeah, so recent videos to watch today. The Pixel 10 video is out, and then the Pixel Watch 3 is going to premiere in what is it? About 3 hours. 3 hours from now. Wherever you are, 3 hours from now, that video is going to premiere. And yeah, it's a Pixel Watch 3. The reason that I got this watch, instead of going for the Pixel Watch 4, I got this on OfferUp, so a private seller was selling it, and she was selling it for 75 bucks. Okay. Now, if you go online and you look at used Pixel Watch 3s, they're anywhere between $200 to $300. So the fact that I got this for 75 bucks, yeah. And I had to test it out. I know she was a little bit weirded out because, she came by herself. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to spook or anything like that. But she was cool with me testing it out. Of course, obviously, I looked at the bottom sensors to make sure that it wasn't a Pixel Watch 1 because some people do that here. And I don't think this here. I think that anywhere else, like on Facebook Market, maybe somebody has like they bought the Pixel Watch 3, and so they put their OG Pixel Watch as a replacement in the box and they sell it to people for what they think is a Pixel Watch 3. So yeah, you gotta test stuff when you buy it from somebody. And that's why I like OfferUp over eBay and all these other places because I meet the seller face to face and I get to test the item. If somebody's gonna sell me something and they act sketchy, like they don't want me to test the item out, I ain't gonna buy it. You know. And it was funny too because where we had to go, like the area was kind of okay. I still brought something with me, for protection. And my wife was with me. She held the money. And yeah, so like I tested it out, everything checked out. So I was like, cool. So I left the watch on the hood of her car. Didn't walk away, so she couldn't swap it out because I was keeping my eye on it. Because I was like, someone could show me a Pixel Watch 3, and if I turn around to get the money, they might just like swap boxes and have a different box that has a different watch in it. So I wanted to make sure she didn't do that. But $75. That's all she wanted for it. And her reasoning was that she gave Pixel a try and she didn't like it, so she wanted to go back to her iPhone and she likes Apple Watch, so she got all that. And I seen the Apple Watch she had on her wrist, so I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Love when when people try new things and everything like that. So, and she was saying it really wasn't a bad experience. She's just not used to Android. which makes sense. A lot of us techies, like we can easily migrate from one operating system to another because they pretty much all do the same thing. But for regular, everyday, average Joes, average Janes, for them, it is a learning curve, because they're used to certain things. They're used to, certain actions in certain areas. And when they don't operate the same, you always meet up like at a gas station. Yeah, you gotta do that. That's where I met her at. So it was like funny because I'll tell you guys a story. So I told her I would meet her at 7 p.m. Uh, so I went to the bank. We drew out some money, and then my wife and I went all the way to the meetup. We met at a QT, which is one of those gas stations. Like if you don't have a QT in your area, it's pretty much like a Wawa's or On Q, whatever you have in your state, Circle K, 7-Eleven. It's like that, right? So we went to a QT. That's where she wanted to meet at, and I was already there, so I had gotten there at like 6:15 p.m. And I was like sitting there. My wife and I, we grabbed a snack inside. We were sitting down because I wanted to watch. Sometimes people set you up. They have you meet up in a spot, whatever, and they have their key players in the parking area, kind of watching and waiting, and then, they rob you on site when you meet up with the person selling this stuff. So I was like sitting there, I was watching my surroundings. Everything seemed pretty decent, and it was pretty cool too because Phoenix police had pulled in to get gas and to get something to drink, so they were there the moment the deal went down. So the seller messaged me was like they were there, they were at pump three. I was like, cool. And they stayed under the pump area because it had the brighter lights. And I walked over. The cop was standing outside his cruiser, doing whatever he was doing, and we did the deal, exchanged the money for the goods, and walked away with a Pixel Watch 3. And all my accessories fit it. The OG Pixel Watch that the community gifted me is up there. I charged the battery up on it. Uh, Yeah, the other reason why too that I retired a Pixel Watch 1 is because it's really hard to replace the battery on it. What I will tell you guys though is that the Watch 3 is a lot lighter than the OG watch, but the OG watch is made with I think stainless steel and a stainless steel casing, and the Watch 3 is made with an aluminum casing, so it's lighter. It's not heavy on my wrist, kind of like how the original watch felt. But I mean, all that's coming in a future video comparison and everything of how all that went down. So, but yeah, they have good hot dogs. They do. I think one of the things that I like about QT is their Cuban sandwiches are fucking awesome. They're bomb as hell. I would tell anybody, if you go to like a QT and you go to that giant flat screen where you order food, you can order pizza, hot dog. Well, hot dogs they have them out there. You can make them yourself, but you can order like a large pizza and stuff like that. I would say try the Cuban sandwich, try the chicken bacon ranch, and then there's a pulled pork barbecue sandwich. Like they're grilled cheeses. That's what they are. There's various forms of grilled cheese, like chicken bacon ranch grilled cheese and the Cuban grilled cheese. So it's like it's got all the fixings and everything. It's very good food. I would say definitely give it a shot. But yeah, I've been up on here for about like an hour, 13 minutes. I thank everybody for coming in and hanging out with me and whatnot and sharing, your guys' thoughts and whatnot. If you guys missed the earlier podcast that so abruptly died because of a power outage, go check it out. And also the most recent videos that I released. I've been back on the grind releasing videos. And yeah, the weekend's gonna be pretty much mellow. Just a couple of videos will drop this weekend, and then I'll be back doing another podcast on Monday with an actual like, focused topic. So, yeah, man, take it easy. Yeah, I'm free Saturday afternoon, so yeah, just hit me up on chat later with all the details and everything. We can get something going for the Deathlock podcast. Catch up on a lot of wrestling news and stuff. If you guys aren't subscribed to the Deathlock podcast, click on click on the thing in the chat and go to the channel and subscribe and turn on notifications so you guys don't miss those. And yeah, YouTube sucks with notifications, so my apologies. Everyone, take it cool. I'll see you guys later.